Bruce, you're going into your 8th championship fight.
Yeah, cheers.
I got some questions. I'm excited.
7-0, going into Manny Bermudez coming out of the UFC.
Sorry to get up for a moment ago.
No, you're
I've
fine,
been pounding
brother.
the jugs of water.
No, you got the fight. So that's this Saturday, Merrill Auditorium.
Yeah, it's the 8th one. I left CES without getting too far into that. Come back to NEF, home base. I wanted to fight close to home, let my family and friends get to go to a fight. And they were trying to make a fight happen, and it's I always love coming to Matt and Nick and fighting for them, but it's got to be a right fight,
right,
for me to really. A lot of people want to say it's coming downwards in the promotion or something. It's not really the case. I mean, a fight's a fight. Opponent makes the fight. So this is a bigger fight than I probably have with CES. But nonetheless,
you could get a bigger fight.
Yeah, it was a big fight. Josh Crispy was a big fight.
Well, let's talk about that. So that's one thing
Bermudez.
I want to ask you before we even get in Bermudez was,
Yeah.
when I think about football, if you were to tell me on Friday after I've been preparing a whole week for the Titans that on Sunday now you were going to play the Niners, right? How is it when they say, okay, oh, by the way, now Crispy can't fight because you're supposed to fight Josh Crispy, right? His first fight coming out of jail, did this big thing, getting ready to go, and then all of a sudden they switch it on you because he can't fight.
Yeah,
is that difficult to make that transition? Because like in football, you couldn't do that. I couldn't prepare for Tennessee and then switch to the Niners on Friday, and I feel like that's what they've asked you guys to do.
You could switch,
right? But
it's
all the preparation.
It's part of the fight game first and foremost. So we know you better expect that there's a chance another guy's coming. Whereas it's Sunday, it's football. You don't expect they're gonna throw another team at you on Sunday.
Yeah, right.
We know it's part of the game, and I'm gonna tell you, you got 11 guys, on the field at one time. And you got a bunch more on the roster that you got to worry about that many different weapons.
Right.
I mean, I got to switch from one guy to another, but there's it's still fighting. There's only so many weapons, and so for me, it's not as big a deal. And especially where Manny and Crispy, they train together. They're from the same gym, and they in my opinion, are a lot alike as far as how they fight and grapple and stuff. So yeah, I wasn't at all concerned about the change. I was only grateful that we were able to get a replacement and it be of the caliber that it is.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a good part.
Talk to me about the championship fight versus a regular, because to be 7-0 in championship matches means you have a different switch, right? I mean, because is there a big difference between a championship fight and a regular fight as far as like you're gearing up for it, and obviously. Yeah. Just organically, it's a bigger fight, right? You got more people there, everybody's watching. It's
the hype's big, and if you're one of us, we like that.
Right.
But I want to so much say, yeah, there is, but like I forget sometimes there's a title on the line when I'm in there, because you just forget all that and you're looking across and you got a guy that you got to beat, and that's the intangible.
Right.
And so, I think in general, I know I compete better when, like Chris was saying, when all the pressure's on you and everybody's watching, the lights are shining, I do better there. Yeah. I do better. I was hoping for the Crispy fight because I do better when I don't like someone and when someone's saying something. And the same for everybody, but when I get pissed off, I perform better in the cage. Yeah. So I kind of hope for that, but Manny's a really nice, respectful guy. It's hard to do that. But I'm in a good place for this camp, so hopefully, things go our way.
So talk to me about Manny, his style, and how your training camp coming up to this fight has been.
Yeah, it's been essentially the same, and I've probably said this plenty of times, but for the last however many fights, I've really just focused on training for me and doing what I do best, and Dale's been one of them, teaching me and telling me, just focus on what you do, and I have other coaches, Jeremy and Eduardo right now, and some other guys at the gym saying the same thing. It's just like if Bruce shows up, Bruce is on, if he's on and he does what he does best, it really doesn't matter what Manny or anybody else does. And I believe that. So we just train like we go to the gym, we do our grappling, we do our striking, you do the same thing over and over again.
It's so interesting, the difference with football, because when we get into the regular season, right, and we're playing on Sundays, you probably spend an hour and a half on the practice field, and then you probably spend about 6 hours watching film on the opponent, right? So like with you guys, it's almost the opposite, right? It's like you get an idea.
That's not true.
Okay.
Depends on who you are.
It's every person is different.
Okay.
And I train with Greg Jackson. I appreciate some film myself. I slow-mo, and I don't just watch the film on the guys that opponents. I watch slow-mo of everybody. I even watch bare knuckle boxing. I watch all this martial arts just to learn.
Right.
I mean, obviously, I'm a hobbyist now.
Dale's pretty much, he is an exception because he loves film.
He loves
dissecting the game, as you know.
Well, can you get that much of a tactical advantage for a fight from a film, from watching film?
Oh, yeah. Repetitive.
Yeah.
Mistakes.
You can see little movements.
You can also get in your own head, too, as a fighter. I'm speaking for myself, but, so there's...
Like, I don't watch tape. I leave it up to my coach. Because if we're both watching tape, he's got holes, he sees, I got holes, I see our holes are,
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's an outside eye. It's a smart thing. I try to do the same thing, but
let the coach watch it, and then he builds the camp. He's building the camp, so he can
trust your coach.
Yeah.
I've tried with Manny to just watch. I watched a couple fights because I just wanted to see what I'm going to see across from me.
Right.
And I didn't try to like break it down like he would do. I just said, okay, this is what I'm going to see. I'm familiar with it, and then like he said, I let the coaches. Say this
what's he specialized? What's his thing? Because some guys are ground guys, some guys are grappling. Okay,
sure.
Okay, gotcha. So you have a certain strategy going in to handle each. Guys have different points of emphasis that they're good at, and you have a counter.
He's got hands too.
He's got a right hand, but he's very one-dimensional in it. If you ask me,
I don't know much.
We know what he's gonna do. He's gonna put his left hand up. He's gonna try to paw at my jab or my hand, and he's gonna try to get a hold of my wrist, pull it down, and throw his right hand.
Right.
And that and maybe he'll throw a little left hook, but that's it as far as I'm concerned for striking. And if you only got to watch out for that, then
here's the thing that got me about Manny watching the promotional video. Now I know it's a promotional video, so you're trying to get you're saying things, trying to get get it hyped up, but. He was asked, what do you think of Bruce? And he's 7-0, 8-0 in these championship fights. And he said, he said something along the lines of, well, I fought in the UFC. Yeah. I fought in the UFC. Uh-oh. And I think of how many, there's one time in the NFL, I was talking to Dale about this today, where we were playing the Bills in 2009, Buffalo Bills, and they had a rookie offensive line. And we were watching on film, and like, oh, we are going to have our way with these guys are bad. We are just going to smoke them. And all week, coaches were saying it, players were saying it. We were like, we're good. We got these guys. We got out there, and I wasn't starting at the time, and I watched our 400-pound nose tackle, all-pro guy get driven 7 yards off the football. And I was like, oh, and just the whole game, they just pounded us. And one of the reasons was we just didn't, even if it's just subconscious, the second you tell yourself that's bad. You want to go in like, every fight's the championship fight against the best guy. Yeah. And if you think anything different.
They got everything to lose too, right?
Right.
Or they got nothing to lose.
Right.
Right. Like,
right.
On their end, they're like,
isn't it, Chris?
Right. Huh?
A man with nothing to lose, that's a scary thing.
That's a dangerous, yeah. I say that all the time. It's like, if you
you prepare for the worst.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a basic statement.
Yeah.
Now, I have a question, Bruce. Okay, so being the nerd I am, all right. So, did you watch the Charles Rosa fight? Let's start there.
Yeah, with Manny?
Yeah.
I did see that one. Yeah.
Okay. And what'd you think of that tap? Would you have tapped to that armbar?
Geez, man, that's interesting because that's kind of one of the things, if I have worked on anything with Manny, he throws triangles, arm bars, and Kimuras a lot. Yeah. So, I said, geez, I got to watch out for that kind of arm bar, that straight arm bar. And, obviously Rosa's the one that threw it up. But I thought, man, that's it didn't even look like it was on. So, which is what concerned me. I'm like, man, I got to be a little careful of that. And I think in that fight with Manny, I mean, in my mind, I was thinking this guy he's already missed weight now for the second time. He probably in the back of his mind knows he's screwed. Second time. I don't know if it was 3, but he had to have it on his mind. He's already his mind's wrong. I felt like he kind of gave up in that fight.
Felt that way a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Like would Jeremy Stevens tap to that?
No, Jeremy would have taken it. I mean, he would have broke his arm. I mean, let's face it. Calvin Kattar's got a tough fight on his hands.
He's a tough guy.
Yeah, he beat Marcus Davis. I mean, Stevens is a nasty dude, and not to get off subject.
No, go ahead.
He's getting ready to fight Calvin Catter, I think, in New York, and it's coming up.
Very exciting.
He's got that thing.
I love. I mean, Stevens is getting old. I'm sure he's feeling all banged up, like I do. And but man, Mike, he's got this grit. And as a fan, as an ex-fighter, there's something I love seeing about a guy who will go to the brink,
right?
And he ain't gonna stop,
right?
Like that guy's he's like a Terminator.
Yeah, he's
right?
kind of the worst one you want standing across from you. Let's face it, you don't look forward to that.
No,
He
it's
ain't
like
gonna break his will.
Yeah.
What do you think about Justin Gaethje, Chris? You like?
I love him. He's a gamer, and that goes right down to mentality. I mean, do I think he's got the smartest approach for longevity? I don't know, but who am I to say? I'm not a neurologist, but in my he's tough. Dude.
You are the opposite of a neurologist. You are bringing neurological damage.
Hey, Gaethje was in. You were down there at Madison Square Garden when we fought down there. He was there walking across the street with us to MCG, and that was. I talked with him as we were walking over to Madison Square Garden, and Frankie Edgar was there. Humble, coolest dude too. Like he's not stupid. Like he ain't banged up in the head. Like he don't.
Like he should be.
I don't know if that's gonna last long, but
he just likes to get down.
Time out now.
He doesn't complicate it.
Now you know that my grandmother had a saying, Bruce. And those who live in glass houses shouldn't throw rocks.
I was gonna say these two are tough as
I mean, I don't think all of your fights have been exactly tactical. You know what I mean?
No. Sometimes the game plan goes out the window, and you got to do what you got to do.
Brothers, we are running out of tape, but I'm so grateful for you guys coming out today, and we're going to keep this going. I want to profile. I know you guys are going to have many more fights coming up. Bruce, the way you're going, man, I don't know how you get out of bed in the morning and you do it. But
we got so much with little Rocco.
Rocco, that's right. Bruce is teaching my little guy, Rocco, Taekwondo, and I'm incredibly grateful for it. Because I'll tell you what, my son comes up to me and says, Daddy, when are we going to learn about football? I said, we'll worry about football later. You're going to learn how to fight better than Daddy can. You're going to be a fighter.
They all do a lot.
But
don't get him talking about retirement, though, please.
That's right. Bruce, so this weekend, February 9th?
February 8th. Saturday.
February 8th, Saturday at the Merrill Auditorium, Manny Bermudez for the title fight, eighth title fight. Yep. And then Chris, March 14th, Wichita, Kansas. Fighter to be announced soon.
Very soon.
Hey, we here at 3 Point Stance.
Do they have one?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so they do have one. They just haven't announced.
We are honored to support you guys, and we're grateful to be in your corner, and we're grateful for you guys and what you do for the community. So thank you so much for coming on, and we're rooting hard for you. All right,
hey, 3 Point Stance podcast. Thank you guys, man, for the sponsorship.
We love you guys.
For having us on.
Absolutely.
Of course, really grateful for what you guys do for this community.